Hi there, I'm Dr. Tanner Milnick, running specialist and physical therapist here at Movement Rehab and Performance. And in this video, I'm going to discuss why training using heart rate zones can be so powerful. If you have completed a metabolic fitness test and have received accurate heart rate zones and want to now put them into action, or learning about training with heart rate zones for the first time, I'm going to review the benefits of this training method and the foundational basis behind it. Heart rate training has been around for a little while now, but has particularly gained traction in recent years, due in part due to the popularity of fitness trackers that have built-in heart rate monitors. Training with heart rate zones offers the potential to maximize performance, minimize overtraining, and help you enjoy your training more. Heart rate training offers these benefits by controlling variables such as energy systems and mechanical loading. When you look at the basic goals of training, there tends to be two overarching goals. That training hopefully will improve your fitness and overall performance, and at the same time manage loading to keep you injury-free and improve your tolerance to increasing activity. To improve fitness and performance, heart rate zone training targets various ways in which your body produces energy to elicit targeted adaptations, with the goal to become more efficient. Your body has various energy systems it uses to create energy, and the way the systems work is primarily related to exercise intensity and the energy needs of the body. We can measure heart rate to understand the changes that are occurring as energy production increases and as exercise intensity increases, and then classify them into ranges. We can use this principle to keep your heart rate in a certain zone in order to specifically target the benefits that are associated with being in that zone. There are two main fuel sources that your body uses to produce this energy, those being fats and the other being carbohydrates. Fats offer more energy but take longer to break down, versus carbs, which produce less energy but are quicker to break down. Therefore, at lower exercise intensities, we want to be using mostly fats, and then at higher exercise intensities, we want to switch to using mostly carbs. Heart rate zone training manipulates energy systems to produce targeted benefits and improve your overall efficiency. The heart rate zone model that I follow has 5 zones, each having its own benefits based on the time spent training in that zone. I'm going to quickly go over the benefits of each zone. So in zone 1, this zone is primarily used for active recovery and does not offer a ton of metabolic benefits, but it still has importance in training. Zone 2, this zone is probably the most important zone that we have. Spending time here improves your fat burning efficiency and your overall endurance. Zone 3, this zone improves heart and lung performance and can be really beneficial for preparing for a race, as oftentimes longer endurance races are going to be run around this zone. Zone 4. This zone can improve your overall VO2 max and improves your fatigue resistance at higher intensities. In Zone 5, this zone is kind of max effort, full out sprinting, can improve your VO2 as well and overall your top end speed. The last piece to understanding the basics of heart rate zones and energy systems is that due to the amount of energy required in each zone, you cannot spend an unlimited amount of time in each zone. Zone 1 and 2 will be zones where you incur little fatigue and you can sustain for extended periods of time. However, zones 3, 4, and 5 will incur increasing amounts of fatigue, and therefore the time spent in each zone will decrease as you go up. Everyone's going to have a mixture of time spent in the zones that will be individualized to them based on their needs and goals. For a rough average though, about 80% of your training should be spent in zones 1 and 2, and the other 20% can be allotted to those higher zones. Hopefully most training plans that you will follow will generally follow this outline. However, if you are unsure on the structure of your training, it can be helpful to make an appointment with a specialist to get a better understanding of exactly how your training plan may fit into this scheme. The understanding of controlling time spent in each zone relates to an idea I mentioned earlier, which is the idea of managing loading and avoiding overtraining. Overtraining is very common, particularly with those newer to training and those training at elite levels, but can really happen to anyone. Overtraining can present in many ways, but some of the most common signs and symptoms are going to be feeling constantly fatigued, decreased performance, poor sleep, decreased appetite, irritable mood, increased resting heart rate, and poor immune system function. When you train hard and have more time spent in the higher zones, it has the potential to have positive effects on your fitness and overall performance, but only when it is paired with adequate rest and recovery. If you fail to properly recover and continue to repeatedly push yourself, there's a good chance you'll lead to overtraining. This also relates to injury risk, because if you are incurring high amounts of mechanical loading through high intensity training and not getting the rest required to repair and recover, injury risk will also quickly increase. Decreasing the risk of injury and overtraining is just one more benefit of training using heart rate zones. The final idea I'm going to discuss in this video is going to be how to determine heart rate zones. To maximize all of the previously mentioned benefits that can be achieved, we need to have the most accurate heart rate zones possible. The best way to do this is to complete a metabolic fitness test, sometimes referred to as a VO2 max test. Through the completion of a test, we can identify the beginning and the end of each of your zones at the exact beats per minute. If you have not completed a test, you can still use your heart rate max percentages for each zone, but these are likely to be inaccurate as they are not individualized based on testing, which can lead to time spent in training in the wrong zone without you knowing it. This is actually what happened to me before I completed my first metabolic test. I thought I was training in zone 2 at a specific heart rate, but I found out that I'd actually been in zone 3 the whole time, and that the benefits I was seeking from training in zone 2, I was actually missing out on completely, while still incurring a ton of fatigue because I was training in one of those higher heart rate zones. I've since changed my training targets based on my accurate heart rate zones, and my performance is improving along with my enjoyment of my training, as I'm not inducing as much fatigue without getting all the benefits. Heart rate training zones is certainly a complex topic, but with some baseline understanding, you can dramatically change how you train and how you feel while doing so. Following this type of training will not only help with those who are looking to maximize their potential, but also those who may be newer to training and looking to get into it in a safer, more controlled manner. And if you are interested in getting your accurate heart rate training zones through a metabolic fitness test, please click the link below for more information, and as always, happy running.